The session says the challenge of change, pathways to corporate transformation. The very first challenge we face, I think, is in switching from lunch mode to session mode. I hope all of you have had a very good lunch and enjoyed the various foods on offer. And I hope you're also all ready to come back to work now and listen to a very, very distinguished panel. We're running a little bit behind schedule, so I'm going to take advantage of that and talk as little as possible. And the participants have very kindly permitted me that I don't need to go into their introduction in great depth. I'm sure all of you have the profile booklet with you. Please do have a look so that you can learn more about these distinguished gentlemen, their accomplishments, and what they have been working on. Let me just briefly talk to you a little bit about the companies themselves. We've assembled for you today, this afternoon, a panel which brings you the benefits and the experiences from a wide cross-section of industry. Starting with Bharat Electronics, BEL, which is a renowned name in not just the defense sector, but also moving outside of the defense sector. They are the trusted partner of the Indian Defense Forces in a number of electronic areas, and they have tapped the export market as well. They have a long and glorious history behind them, and I think you'll agree with me that they're an example of an industry where the products are absolutely fail-safe and have to be absolutely fail-safe. We would have a great interest, therefore, in listening to what Mr. Girish Kumar would be talking to us about his experiences. We will follow that with Mr. Pankaj Agarwal from Lupin Laboratories. Pharmaceuticals in India has long been a success story. The Indian pharma industry has achieved the admiration of many countries in the world. Probably it has also achieved the envy and perhaps not so positive envy of some countries. But given the work that they have done in saving lives and in improving health, the pharma industry in India is clearly one of our success stories, and I'm sure we'll be very interested to know what Mr. Pankaj Agarwal talks to us about. Following him will be Mr. Dinesh Brushundi, the Chief Quality Officer of DIAL, the Delhi International Airport Limited, which, as you know, is one of the top-ranked airports in the world at the moment. I'm sure all of us have passed through Delhi Airport at some time or the other and have been hugely impressed at the quality and depth of their facilities. We'd look forward in great detail to hear what Mr. Brushundi has to tell us about their experiences. Rounding off the session is Mr. Shirish Bhargav from RPG Raychem, again a very high-tech industry, specializing in the highest areas of aeronautics and also with defense. And this gives us a tremendous cross-section of manufacturing, of services, of high-tech and dependable technology. I have only two requests which I have made to the gentlemen of this distinguished panel. Firstly, that they come up with as many examples and anecdotes as possible so that those of us in the hall who are not part of their industry can still benefit and apply their learnings to the industries we represent. And secondly, given that we are running behind time, I have requested all of them to please keep a wary eye on the time. And I notice that it's flashing right here in front of us. So gentlemen, none of us have an excuse for not adhering to the time. So without much more ado, let's start the session so that we can have as much audience interaction as possible. And may I request Mr. Girish Kumar to perhaps set the ball rolling.